So welcome to our 2025 Scouts BSA kickoff and leaders meeting. Tonight we'll go over key information that you need to know while planning your summer camp adventure for 2025. Several things have changed, but most of the stuff is the same from 2024. So we'll kind of hit the highlights there. That's not working. Camp schedule, I think everyone up there. It helps us get camp ready. We'll also go through, kind of put together the list that we need to do June 13th to the 15th, which is the Order of the Arrow Conclave and Camp Work Weekend. It's granted that most of the people up there in Order of the Arrow, you do not have to be in Order of the Arrow. You can also come up and help get camp ready without being in Order of the Arrow. You just obviously don't do the Order of the Arrow stuff. We are doing 2 sessions this summer. The first week is June the 22nd to the 28th, and the next is July 6th through the 12th. During the 4th of July week, we are running something called Northwoods Adventure Camp, which is aimed at Cub Scouting age youth. We have raised the fees for $20 for the this year. We're still the least expensive camp in the area, especially for those that have the Super Saver rate, which is about half. And that's not true anymore. What is a significant number of our unit. And actually those units collectively will save about $2,200 on camp this summer. One additional change that I'll point out that need to be aware of, the last couple of years, we have done the neckerchiefs at no charge. This year we are charging $20 for them at pre-order only. We're not making any money on these. It's just a matter of, with the drop in the number of kids that go to camp and the cost that it costs to run camp overall, we just physically can't afford to give them away. It just strictly comes down to that. As you see, the Super Saver is $340 with a $10 for the t-shirts. The early bird is by May 4th. We did move that upon request actually from New Ulm. It's no longer a Friday, it is a Sunday. Mainly reason that is we have the deadline on Friday, but no one looks at it for Monday anyway, so I'll give you the weekend. But with the $18 shirt for sale, regular rate after that, $400. Leaders are $150 or $40 a day. And then I already mentioned the additional cost for the neckerchiefs. Most of you know about family camp. Would invite your families that aren't leaders if they want to come up and enjoy camp, whether it's during your week of camp or the rest of the year to come up. We have 4 great family cabins. Those family cabins have 1 bedroom with a double bed, 1 bedroom with 2 twins, a bathroom, a living room, a kitchen, and a screened-in porch. They're great for a family to be in for the weekend. We have 6 RV or tent sites. I say 6. You're going to say, wait a second, I thought there were 12. 6 of them are seasonal sites, so people are there from basically May 15th through October 15th, so they can keep their stuff there. So I just open to rent. There's a great fishing dock. There are canoes and kayaks and rowboats to use to go fishing or just to go boating in the area. There's great fishing for bass, sunfish, crappie, and northern pike. Frankly, it's my favorite place in the state to go fishing because it's basically a private lake and the fish bite well. So there are showers in the camping area and flush toilets. There's also a playground for the younger kids. So it's a great opportunity for families to enjoy camp, whether it's the week that you're up there or not. I did mention this already, so I won't dwell on this again. We do encourage that scouts that are returning wear their last year's neckerchief to the opening campfire and to a chapel. We'll then present those that purchase them to them and recognize them at least in the year of the camper, and then encourage them to wear the neckerchief at the Friday night campfire. Something new to bring a friend. We've kind of played with this the last several years, trying to come up with a this year is either be a Wednesday or Thursday. Is if you bring a non-scouting friend to camp, the person that brings them and the friend has their choice of either doing the Brainerd zipline tour or a horseback trip. It's not both; it's one or the other. They can choose. I can tell you, we will need help from leaders to probably transport kids there and back. So if you're willing to help with that, it would be greatly appreciated. The cost for that friend is the $370 before May 4th, the $400 after May 4th, just like the regular fees are. If you're a Super Saver unit, it's still that rate because they didn't sell popcorn. Now, if they join ahead of time, meaning they're not a Weeblo transfer or a light transfer, but if they decide, hey, I'm going to join you in April, they're a new scout that was not in scouting before. Obviously, they would get that rate at that time, and we still honor that because the whole idea is about getting kids recruited and going to camp that normally elsewise wouldn't. In most cases, we're saying that those would probably take Eagle Trail because they don't have the basic scout skills, but that's not a hard and fast rule. If I use my daughter, um, and that friend says, hey, you're taking kayaking. I'd really like to take kayaking because I'd like to do that. We can work with that on an individual basis. The time where that wouldn't work is there's some merit badges that are very popular. Obviously, we give our scouts the preference over that. Most of our merit badges aren't full. So as long as there's room, we can accommodate that. And then obviously the build your adventure stuff, they were a part of your troop. One change that we found that we're not having because it did cause some problems. They will register through for this through you. So they will tell you, hey, I'm joining. You'll put them in, you'll add them. Shelly won't call you and say, hey, so-and-so is not registered. If we end up messing up, just say, oh yeah, they're a friend, and we can deal with that appropriately. Leadership reminder, this changed last year, but it's important to remind is that they have to be registered leaders before they can attend camp. Before last year, you could literally hand us the application on Sunday when you walked into camp. They literally scanned it in the office. Janelle or Shelly could put it in the computer on Monday morning. They were registered, not a problem. Now they have to go through the criminal background check before they're registered. And before that happens, the week of camp is over. And the reason is criminal background check and youth protection training requirements and all that. So please get those in at least a week ahead of time. The more the better, but at least a week ahead of time so we don't run into those issues. So the schedule for 2024 is much like it was. Actually, I should have updated my slide. The schedule for 2025 is similar to 2024, where we have advancement time in the mornings when you take the merit badges and troop time in the afternoons when you would build your adventure. During the advancement time in the aquatics area, there's a swimming, life-saving, small boat sailing, kayaking, canoeing, swimming. COPE, wilderness survival and search and rescue will be there in the COPE area. They haven't turned back in their letter of employment, but we have offered letter of employments to a COPE director and an assistant. They're both longtime scouters. You know them both, Abby Sandquist and Kaden Nelson. So we do have that this year. I can tell you what we still need, assuming everyone that said they were going to work returns in their letter of employment. We still need commissary. We still need Eagle Trail. We still need a scout craft. So all of our major areas I believe, knock on wood, are full. We just have verbal commitments for them all. Um, industrial arts, industrial arts, Mike Kunkel is running, which is welding and home repair. Nature, we have environmental science, fish and wildlife, mammals, reptiles, fishing, fly fishing, weather, and forestry. That one's new. Our theme this year, which we'll talk about a little bit, is Camp Cayuna Take 59th year. So we are going to have a movie theme, which I'll talk about in a little bit. So that's why we're offering that merit badge this year. And then shooting sports. Most of you are at the Eagle Trail programs, first year camper program. It's really designed for youth that have crossed over from Arrow of Light. And it works on the tenderfoot, second class, first class requirements, and it focuses on team building and scout skills. I get questions every year: do they have to take Eagle Trail? No, they don't. Highly encouraged, because that's the basic scout skills that they need to learn to move forward. But if you have a scout that absolutely wants to take merit badges instead, they can. It is not required, but it is highly, highly encouraged. The afternoons are up to you. It's troop time, and there's stuff to do at camp or off camp. One of the feedbacks we got 2 years ago now was they really liked the Build Your Ventures Wednesdays, but wanted time to do the things you want to do. I remember even working camp as a kid that they were, okay, the one picture's a little dated. Is that what you're looking at?
A couple of them that are quite old.
Yeah. But they're great pictures. So one of the feedbacks I get, that kids like going fishing, but they, even if it's a merit badge, you may get to go fishing a half hour, 45 minutes. Kids like to go canoeing or kayaking. Even taking the merit badge, you may get to go canoeing and kayaking, 15, 20 minutes a day. So there's patrol time for canoeing, kayaking, swimming, stand-up paddleboarding, just the general boating. Patrol cope, which would be the team building activities, as well as a climbing tower. Patrol shoots, fishing outpost. I ran those last year. I can tell you, kids had a ball fishing out at the family camp. Just having fun at the Cayuna Arcade with the gaga ball and foosball, things of that way. And sure, service projects, going hiking, knots and lashings, mile swim, Dutch oven cook off, all those type of things. Can do. Some of them are all afternoon, some of them are an hour, depending on what you want to do. There are some various service projects you can do at camp. I won't read those off to you, but if you're interested, please kind of tell us what you're interested in doing so we can make sure we have the materials available ahead of time. Off-site adventures. Now, obviously, these have an additional cost. And in the book, there are some ideas. And I want to preference that we're not making anything off this. We don't have special deals with them. They're not giving us cutbacks or any of this kind of stuff. I just kind of did research online, said, here's some stuff. Contact them if you like. But the Brainerd Zipline Tour, I know, is very well respected. It's the same owners as the Kerfoot here, local. The owner I do know is an Eagle Scout, and I do know they run a quality program. And mountain biking at the Cayuna Rec area is a world-class facility. Everyone I've ever talked to that did a mountain biking enjoy it. You can bring your own mountain bikes, or fairly reasonably, you can rent them there in Crosby. There's a couple different horseback riding facilities. I think you guys did that a couple years ago, didn't you? River tubing, there's no additional cost to that. We've got the tubes as long as the water is up. I know we've had a couple units do the go-karting at the go-karting track in the area. There's a Paul Bunyan amusement park, the Arboretum, golfing, Mille Lacs Indian Museum, and there's some other activities I'm sure you can find on your own. But some great opportunities if you want to add an additional high adventure and take advantage of the stuff that's in the area. We encourage everyone to take pictures and to share them to hashtag Camp Cayuna 2025. And there's also be the memento or whatever. The advantage of sharing them here is you're sharing the excitement of scouting to the outside community on social media. marketing, scouting, not just showing the pictures to ourselves. I know there's a lot of controversy about cell phones, and some units allow them and some don't, but kids do communicate these days with each other through TikTok, like it or not. They communicate with each other through Snapchat, like it or not. So if they're at camp and they're doing a cool thing on the climbing tower, they catch a fish and they put it on Snapchat or TikTok, other kids see that and the excitement of scouting, not just those that scout. So I'm not telling you what you do with the unit, just consider that. And obviously time and place. And if you're doing merit badge, they shouldn't have it out. There's times in the unit they shouldn't have it out, but are there times where they could? And conversations to have within your own unit. Evening programs, as in the past, Sunday we'll have opening campfire. Monday it'll be an aquatics area. Tuesday shooting sports and cope. Wednesday chapel and friendship fires. Thursday nature and scoutcraft. It's kind of vague because in about a month the camp staff will get together for the first time and start kind of putting some of that stuff together. But very generically, we said that again, Camp Cuyuna, take 59. It's a movie theme. Monday, being in the aquatics area, have some sort of Jaws theme for your own unit. You figure out what that means because we'll do something with the staff. You figure what that means for your unit. On Tuesday, it's spaghetti westerns and ecology and scoutcraft. Wednesday is action adventure, and instead of skits, recreate a scene from your favorite movie, appropriate movie. Thursday is the mystery movie Sherlock Holmes night, and then troop campsite. Create your own movie set with a gateway or other props. So kind of play it up and come up with your own imaginations, and we'll have a lot of fun with that at camp. Some older youth programs that went over well last year. We're continuing this year. 13-year-olds, we're going to invite to have a dinner with the staff one night and kind of introduce the CIT program. 14 plus year olds will spend a special game night after the OI meeting on Monday evening. And we would like to invite any 17-year-olds at camp to join us for the steak fry, no additional charge. It's kind of a celebration of last year on camp, at camp as a youth, and recognize those as well. I did mention camp staff. CITs are 14. We still would like to have some CITs. We got a couple, but we could use some more. Junior staffs have to be at least 15. Lifeguards have to be at least 16. Most area directors 18 or 21. I have not updated that slide. Completely ignore that. I already told you the areas that we need to have, and that is commissary, and we need a commissary director and another person in a commissary staff. We need Eagle Trail director, but we do have a prospect for that, as well as an Eagle Trail staff, and we need a Scoutcraft staff. So that is the staff that we need. Just a reminder that we need everybody that's at camp needs to have the health form part A, B, and C. And that includes leaders that are staying even if it's less than 72 hours. They used to be, as long as you were staying over 72 hours, you just have to have the A, B. That is no longer the case for long-term camp, even if you're staying overnight. Tips on preparing for camp. Share a list of merit badges early so scouts can pick the classes that they'd like to take. Have the troop meeting dedicated to planning your build your adventure afternoons and talking about what do you want to do, what sounds like fun to you, and to pick the activities that we go boating together. Do you want to do some off-site adventures? Recruit adult leaders, spend a week at camp early, make other arrangements necessary. We can work with you. There's several troops in our council that plan on sharing a campsite every year and sharing leadership every year. And obviously we can work with you to do that if you need it, or you can do it on your own. Speak to the Order of the Arrows early, if not done so already. Get those arrow lights involved, and let the parents know the total cost of camp, because generally the cost is a little bit more than just what we charge, because you got transportation up there and food and all that kind of stuff. This is a blank slide because there's some changes coming and I don't have all the information yet. So big picture, nationally, there's problems that have occurred with basically the discrepancies of how dress codes are enforced between male and females. The typical complaint for males is pull up your socks, tuck in your shirt. The typical complaint for females is your pants are too tight, even though they're scout pants, or various things like that. I can tell you in my own, there is actually no requirement in BSA that says you have to have a one-piece swimsuit. It just says appropriate wear. I can tell you my daughter has a swimsuit that's a two-piece that you had to really look at it to tell it was a two-piece, and there's no reason it's inappropriate other than somewhere someone said it was. And I just use that as an example. I mean, we obviously took care of it, but it's the discrepancy really between male and female. And I know what the requirement we will get. I don't have them. We will get requirements, or I'd say guidelines that units can use to set their own dress code. And the dress code for, I'm going to use units we don't have, so I don't put it on the spot. A dress code for someone in Troop 1 may be different from a dress code in Troop 3. It's kind of up to that unit to decide. And what we, meaning the Boy Scouts, are concerned about is strictly health and safety. So in other words, if you show up for welding merit badge and you're wearing shorts and flip-flops, there's a health and safety issue there. And we need to communicate ahead of time, hey, for this merit badge, for health and safety reasons, it's long pants and closed-toe shoes. Now, if we see something that we feel is inappropriate, not health and safety, we as adult leaders need to bring that up to the unit leader. So if I think someone in 76, I'm just saying next, I'm looking at David. If I think someone in 76 is dressed inappropriately, I need to go to David and have a conversation with David about that, not have the conversation with one of David's kids and let David deal with that. So that's kind of the big picture. The other thing we need to have, we had a health and safety committee meeting, and since they hadn't given us the benchmarks yet, what are those health and safety things we need to be on? And I'll give you a great health and safety thing. We say no closed shoes, toes at camp. Okay, I know there are camps in the country, because I've been to them, that have paved trails. Why can't they wear flip-flops in those camps? It's really, truly not a health and safety issue. Even Cuyuna, we can have this discussion, I believe not. If you're walking on the roads, is it a truly a health and safety issue? Again, we have to have those discussions, but what is health and safety versus what is our preference? But I do want to give you the heads up that it's coming. I don't have the details. I'm sure the things going through your head are the same questions going through my head that I can't give you the answer for at this point. But I hope to have the answer for you tonight to give you those guidelines. I don't have them at this point. That's my presentation. So questions that I can address that you may have about camp.
Hey Ray, this is Jay.
Hi.
Hey, so if the plan your adventures, let's say you got a younger group and they're like, can they plan like a wood carving merit badge or something? Would we be able to get a counselor to hang out with us in the afternoon and do something like that if that's what they wanted to do?
My answer to that is have a conversation with Rob, because I don't want to answer that prematurely and not being held the staff that can cover it.
Okay.
I would think that as long as we had the staff and it was the troop wanted to do that in the afternoon, we could probably arrange that. We have said that we want to keep the afternoons not necessarily more adventure based than merit badge based. But again, if you're setting aside a time for just your unit, I would think we could manage that, but have that conversation with Rob so that we can make sure that we have the staff to be able to adequately accommodate that. But I would believe we could.
Okay.
Other questions? All right, I'm done.